was really proud of our team. That's a level of play that I knew we could achieve. We just had failed to achieve it. And so it was really good to get that win tonight. It was good to get a close win. I think our crowd was phenomenal. They were worth 10 to 15 points easily. And so I appreciate everyone that came out and cheered.
Samara, after the final buzzer, you ran over to Kim before she could get to the handshake line to give her a hug. Could you just describe your emotions in that moment when the buzzer ended and why you ran straight to Coach Kim?
I think it's a really huge accomplishment because, Tennessee hasn't beat UConn in, 18 years. So I think it's just a huge accomplishment in her first year to do something like that, and I think that it's special. And so I'm always looking to embrace her. She's kind of not a touchy person, but I'm always looking to give her a little nudge or something.
This is for both Samara and Jewel. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm getting old. I didn't know if I'd see Tennessee beat UConn again in my lifetime. So I know Coach Caldwell won't brag on herself, so I'm going to ask you two. She beat UConn in her debut at Tennessee. Just what does that say about your head coach?
A lot. I mean, we knew this when she, took the job here. We knew she won a lot of games, and she told us when she got here, she wants this year to be the year that we do something special. She didn't want to wait, and that's just special, being a senior, hearing that from a coach that believes in us. And you saw how quick she returned after having her baby, and it's just the sacrifices that she continuously makes for us. It's just the little things that we have to do for her, which is just playing hard. That's all she really asked for. So I was really proud of us for doing that and sticking together today.
Jewel, I think your first reaction was also to run over and hug Kim. What went behind that? And then, Kim, what was your reaction to both of your players going in? Their first thing they do is go and celebrate with you.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing that Sam said, like I just hit on, the sacrifices that she made, and, all of our coaching staff stepping up, but just her, being at the front and believing in us and us doing something really huge. We knew what this game meant to a lot of people, our alumni, so we showed it. And just for her to be there smiling, and she was right there, so I just gave her a little hug.
I welcomed it with open arms. I thought we played really hard. I think this was the game where we played the hardest, the most consistent. And so for them to run over and give me a hug was great. I want them to enjoy every moment of this.
Kim, what was different about this game down the stretch compared to some of the other games earlier in the season that slipped away?
Yeah, we had poise down the stretch. I think we played with confidence. I think we played to win as opposed to afraid to lose. And again, I think the crowd had a lot to do with it. We had a good week of practice. We had a really good bye week. It did not translate to our Missouri game, but we had a really good week. I thought we turned a quarter. I do think we were getting better. And so it was good to hopefully get over the hump, beat a top opponent.
Hi, this question is for all of you. What did you guys do in the locker room to celebrate after the win?
Look at her. That's what we did.
Yeah, that's pretty much it right here.
We got her and we got Coach Jenna.
Yeah.
It was Coach Jenna's scout.
And Jewel a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Jewel, why was it important for you guys to run over and celebrate with the LVFLs?
Once again, we just knew how important this game was for them. They set the stage, and we just really wanted to make them proud, honestly, just by playing hard. And that's what we're about with this team. So to see them smiling and taking the time out of the day to come support us, that was the least we could have done.
I was going to ask the same. I saw the updo Kim, and you didn't have that earlier in the game. So how nice was it to have this celebration?
I didn't care
did they
for it.
surprise you?
No, they did not surprise me. I did not care for it. It was definitely overkill. It wasn't cups of water. It was bottles of water. And I surrendered.
Hey, Kim, anybody was around Pat knows how much rebounding the basketball meant to her program. You guys killed them on the boards tonight. How fitting was that?
Yeah, we've talked about that at length every game. And I thought we just really played hard on the rebounds. And of all of the other games we had where we lost, if we would have won the rebounding battle, we win the game.
Samara, I understand that Alexis Hornbuckle talked to y'all before the game. She was one of the teams that beat UConn at UConn before Pat ended the series. I'm not going to ask you to share exactly what she said because I know Alexis has a way with words, but what was her message to the team?
I mean, it was basically just talking to us about how important and where it all started from. She said that it started in 1995, which none of us were born then, but, I mean, it's like special, and it's special to be here playing against them, and it's special to, you know, wear Tennessee across your chest and be able to have that rivalry. And so it's basically what Coach Kim tells us every day, like we got to take pride in being here and playing, but from it coming from somebody who played in it and was in it and won championships and was like here playing against UConn, it just hits different.
Kim, the broadcast said Talasia was sick with the flu and didn't practice yesterday. How close was she to 100% tonight? And then what did she give you, even though she was struggling on the offense?
Yeah, I don't think she still felt great. She did a really good job of fighting through adversity at the beginning of the game. She didn't see some shots go in. She still got teammates opened. She made some mistakes that were frustrating, and she still stepped up big for us at the end.
Kim Z really took over down the stretch in the fourth quarter. What do you think led to so much success for her at the end of the game?
I think there was a different version of Z coming into this game. She was locked in. She was focused. I think this game really meant something to her, and she had 2 good days leading up to it.
For Samara and Jewel, once you guys took that lead in the third quarter, you didn't give it back, and you guys went on a 13-0 run, which I feel like is the biggest run that you guys have gone on against a ranked opponent. It was almost like you guys smelled the blood in the water, and you didn't let it go. How big was that for you guys to make that switch, to be able to take that lead, to hold it and finish out this game, and just what kind of statement do you feel like you made?
Well, I'll say we've had our fair share of getting leads and losing them, like we did in the Florida State game, and we knew that UConn was capable of like coming back and hitting shots, but our defense is what really helped us. I felt like we got them like, you know, out of what they're normally used to, and a little bit frantic, and they weren't hitting shots that they normally would hit. So I just feel like for us to be like as focused as we were, I think that was a big help.
And I also think like we didn't want to have any regrets. We talked about that, and you know, there's been a couple games that we lost by 1 or 2 possessions. So I think we honed in on like the little skills, just on like boxing out, not fouling, to get us the win.
Kind of on that same note on defense, you know, you guys really took Paige out of rhythm. She didn't quite get to her shots till the end of the fourth there. What was just your goal heading into the game of making things difficult for her, knowing that she can score at any point?
I mean, everybody knows she's a great player. We never really focus on just one specific player, especially at this time in the year. We know there are a lot of great players on different teams. It's just more so about like containing, and we knew coming into this game that she had the possibility to get hot and to lead their team to a win, and so we didn't want that to happen. So we just did everything that we could, pressured her as much as we could, got her out of rhythm, got her out of what she normally does, and it helped.
Another strong game rebounding. How important, Coach, was that for it to come down to this after having so many struggles in these big games with rebounding?
Yeah, we wanted to out-rebound it by 10. We thought that was the margin we needed to have to be in the game. We did not shoot the ball great, so we had a lot of opportunities to go get those rebounds. I think they turned it on at the end and went and got way too many second chance opportunities down the stretch, which was concerning. So there's still room to grow.
Coach, what is it about Samara that really allowed her to spark the offense in that 13-0 run with, I mean, she had 9 of the points and then those 3 back-to-back baskets?
Yeah, she played poised, she played under control, she played with confidence, but the most important thing that she did for us tonight is she really pushed pace. She got in the paint and she didn't force anything up. She sometimes dribbled it in a circle and kicked it back out, but that's really where we want to start our offense from. And so hopefully we can build on that moving forward.
Coach, I know it's a regular season game, and you got a big SEC game on Monday, but sometimes to have success, it helps to see success. How big is that for your team as you close out SEC play in this month?
Yeah, I think we're getting better. I think we, like Jules said, had a lot of games that, I mean, they still stick with me. The 1-possession games against top 10 opponents, and we really needed to beat a top 10 opponent. I think that we could do that. I think we deserve that. I think we practiced hard enough to do that. We just were making too many mistakes. And we talked at length about these top teams. You can't make those mistakes, and I do think we lessened those.
For any of you guys, UConn hadn't been in a close game for forever. I mean, they've been killing people. As you guys got the lead and kept the lead in the third and fourth quarter, could you sort of see it in their eyes? Uh-oh. We hadn't been in this kind of position in a long time.
I mean, yeah, I was talking about it actually before the game with Coach Jenna. They played Notre Dame and they played USC, and those were 2 games that they lost, and those were 2 games where, you know, they didn't really have the lead that much in the game. So just being able to say, hey, like, you know, we think of ourselves as top dogs, and we think of ourselves being able to compete with those kind of teams, so we need to come in here and play like that, and I feel like we did tonight.
Jewel and Samara, you guys have both mentioned about how much this meant to you and for Kim to do this in her debut season, but it's just her and Pat now that have beat UConn. How impressive is it that she did that? Did that lead to maybe the heightened celebrations after the game?
Very impressive.
Yeah, and I'll say this, I didn't do it. They did it. And they just made up their minds that they wanted to do it. And I didn't score 1 point. I didn't get 1 stop. And they locked in, and they wanted it, and they played incredibly hard. And that's something that we've talked about, is you need to be tired, you need to be playing hard. And they can be excited for me, but I'm more excited for them.
I know you just said it was about the players, but you talk about those losses sticking with you. To see this team finally get over that hump, especially on the last play when Z got that layup, like Coop had to really fight to keep that possession alive, got a great drive. They were poised in that moment. Just what were the emotions for you seeing this team finally turn the page and not have another heartbreaking loss?
I think relief. I think I've seen us do this. We practice it in practice. We did it early in the year. I mean, our Iowa game wasn't really it was not a blowout. It was a close game until the end, and the Florida State game was a close game. And so it's almost like we kind of just lost our confidence. And it was just a sigh of relief to say, okay, we've done this before. We do this in practice. We can do this on the floor.
Coach, I saw you walk off with Coach Jenna. Was there a message that she gave you after the game? I know you guys are pretty close.
I have no idea if she even said anything to me.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't even know that happened until you told me that.
You're living in the moment.
I was trying to get out of there.
Coach, what do you think that Pat would say if she was here? And then what do you think she'd be most proud of about this team right now?
I think she'd be thrilled with the effort and the rebounding, and I am sure she is up in heaven with my dad. They're probably having a cold one celebrating.
Hey.
Thank you very much. Then he said, cut her off.